Hi everyone, I'm back. I've been away for a little while, so thank you so much for sticking around and being here with me again. Today, I'm making something simple and fun from this old gem, the Sewing Calendar 2010. I picked it up years ago at Barnes and Noble. This one is called the Elle tie-on slippers. I've been traveling a lot lately, and I'm not a big fan of wearing shoes inside hotel rooms. But walking around barefoot or in just socks doesn't feel great either. These slippers are the perfect solution. They fold up super small, about the size of a pair of socks, so you can just toss them in your bag and go. To wear them, just slip your foot in and tie the strap in a bow over the top. They're fully reversible, so you get to looks in one. For fabric, I use natural cotton for the outside and soft cotton flannel for the lining. You'll need about half a yard of each. Here's how to make them. I printed out a copy and also made a second version, upsized by about 1 inch. You can adjust the size however you like, depending on your fit. Fold your fabric and place the pattern on the fold. Pin it in place to keep it from shifting. The pattern doesn't include seam allowance, so be sure to add about 1/4 inch all the way around. The pattern is available online for free. I'll leave the link down in the description. Cut along the line. I used a 1/4 inch seam. This makes it easier to sew curves without needing to snip into them. Make sure to cut to pieces of lining and to pieces of outer fabric. If you prefer using a 1/2 inch seam, that works too. Just snip the curves for a smoother finish before turning it inside out. You don't need to snip curves if using a 1/4 inch seam. Next, let's talk darts. You'll see dotted lines on the pattern. That's the dart sewing line. For this video, I snipped a small notch where the dots are. Unpin the pattern and place your cut lining piece onto the outer fabric. Pin them together and cut again. After cutting the lining fabric, I place it back onto the outer fabric to cut the second layer. This helps me cut both layers in the exact same shape, especially when the fabric might shift or stretch. It also saves time since I don't have to trace the pattern twice. You don't need to snip curves if using a 1/4 inch seam. And don't forget to snip a small notch on the outer fabric, too. If you know how to use notches, this will guide your dart. To make the dart, match the notches or marks with the right sides of the fabric together, then stitch along the line. Do this for both the lining and outer fabric. I recommend tracing it onto your fabric for accuracy, especially if you're a beginner. Now sew the heel seam with right sides together using a 1/4 inch seam. Once that's done, open up the pieces and place the lining and outer fabric right sides together. Start by lining up the darts. When pinning them, make sure one dart folds in one direction and the other folds the opposite way. It helps reduce bulk and keeps it nice and flat. Securely pin around the edges and leave a small opening for turning the fabric. And make sure to match the heel seam as well. You can do the same here as you did with the darts. Either press one seam to each side or press the seam open and pin it in place to reduce bulk and keep everything even. Pin all the way around and sew with a 1/4 inch seam, leaving a small opening for turning. Cut or remove any excess thread. Turn it right side out through the opening. When you pull the right side out through the opening, you can use a turning tool or string to shape the corners like I did. I used a string to help pull the tips out. That actually worked great. Press it firmly, then top stitch around the edge to close the opening. That's it. Let me know if you try this project, and if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I made one pair following the original pattern, and then made an extra pair with a few changes. Instead of the original pointy tie shape, I switched to a bow style tie. I made a bunch of these as gifts, and honestly, I got a bit lazy with the pointy corners, so I went with a big bow instead. It's much easier to turn right side out, and I think it looks really cute. What do you think? I didn't use a pattern for the big bow, I just cut it freehand when I made the original for my YouTube video, so I don't have a template to share for that one. But if you like this big bow, please leave me a comment below and I'll make one. Haha! Now you've got your own cozy, reversible slippers. Let me show you how to fold them up for easy packing on the go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon with more fun sewing ideas. Bye for now.